Welcome to Off Da Binge, and I am your host, Legendary Vash, and with me is my co-host, Crash, or as we like to call him, the Hispanic Assassin, and this is your go-to seasonal anime podcast, where we dive into the best, the unexpected, the sleepers, the hidden gems of each anime season. Today is our episode 5. We bring you the week 8 coverage of this fall season anime. We jump into week 8. And has Dun still remain on top of Crash list, or is the Villainess anime still the number one for Vash himself? Or has other animes touched our hearts and souls, just like the acrobatic lady? Because Vash finally did catch up to Dun, the 2 episodes he was behind on. So, without further ado, let's start the show of our seasonal anime discussion. I'm your host, you know me, Legendary Vash, and I'm all about those long titles and Seek Adventures. But I'm giving you a song recommendation for today, and it's called Go Watch Arcane and listen to Ma Mélange Anime. My apologies to our French audience if I butchered that, but it's because that song has been on a repeat to me this whole weekend. And my co-host here.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it's your boy Crash, aka the Hispanic Assassin, your romance anime recommender for the season, for hopefully all time. Shout out, a very big small shout out to Giguk to his video on the fall 2024 anime season in a nutshell video. If you are familiar with him, give his video a definite watch. His takes are very similar to mine and Vash, and let me tell you, I don't think you'll be disappointed with our opinions on this season.
Yeah, this season has some hot takes. Some interesting. Vash did homework. He caught up out of the 14 animes. I got to double check. 14 animes that Vash is on, guys. Vash, out of this past 2 years of mental, financial, life struggles, he finally pushed a 14 anime slot in a season. That's the first time the past couple of years, 10, 12 months, I've been watching like 2-3 animes per season, but now with Off Da Binge, Anime Podcast, and things are looking up. I'm watching 14. That's to me a record. We used to put out 20. So look, to me, Vash is coming back with a vengeance. He's catching up with his animes. We're doing what we gotta do. Cause you know what does that mean? What have we been watching? What have we been binging? Because you really want to see our Weebs Lounge, go check out the Anime Podcast this Thursday at 1 p.m. EST, where it's episode 158 of Arcane Season 2 coverage. Last week we did episode season 1 of Arcane. Now this week is season 2, so go check that out on your lovely day for Thanksgiving. So if you're cooking a turkey, Anime Binge Podcast is a 3-hour show. Go check that out, the coverage. We apologize for the longer, but it's Arcane, man. It was a breakdown. I wish it was more. We left out some stuff. I'm mad at myself, but hey, the conversation was still beautiful. That's what matters.
Spicy. There was beautiful. There was so much to talk about, and even then, even to this day, we still have so much to speak about Arcane. It's probably going to be the most spoken animated show for the rest of 2024, honestly.
Yes. So without further ado, let's check out what have we been watching. So let's dive into the fall season. Let's talk about what I've been watching outside of our weekly seasonal coverage. So these are recent binges. I'm going to give it to Crash first. What have you been binging? What is it that's up on your plate? What has been your appetizer before you have been going to the entree?
So, I have spoken on the last episode. I was catching up on some Ranking of Kings to give you guys an update now with that. I am now currently on episode 9. I am a good 33% into the show. It's getting really interesting. The first episode was already enticing, intriguing to say the least. Now my boy Boji, the prince, I'm starting to learn the names now, and his boy Kage are now, spoilers ahead, but I have to say regardless, we already know, these will be in the timestamps, but just, to give you guys a heads up, major spoilers ahead. If you don't want to be spoiled, definitely skip ahead. But now Boji and Kage are in the underworld, finding the king of the underworld's brother to help them become the strongest king. Meanwhile, his brother, and I'm sorry for butchering his name, is Daida. He is currently possessed by his, well, I wouldn't say possessed, but he's being controlled, let's say, by his father, King Bose. And we don't know what his motives is, if he's gonna be stuck inside his body forever, if he's just temporary, like what's the meaning of him being inside his son's body. Anime is getting interesting to say the least. I'm looking forward to see how the fight sequences are gonna go because I've heard so many good things about the fight sequences. I've seen some clips here and there, so I'm looking forward to seeing what the rest of season one's gonna hold. And a quick tip that I was told by my friends that I didn't know: the voice actors of Reign of Kings are very similar, or more or less the same, as the voice actors who did My Hero Academia. You hear All Might talking, you hear Shoto, talking, and I'm like, I recognize these people. Where the hell I heard them from? You look it up. Oh my god, they did My Hero Academia. What the fuck? So definitely, it's cool to hear these voice actors in other animes besides this one. Besides that, I actually caught up an OVA that some of you may or may not be familiar with. I believe it came out in the beginning of this year or the year before. I watch so much anime; it's hard to catch up on some things sometimes. But it's a little anime. It's called My Happy Marriage. It is an exclusive anime on Netflix. If you are into romance anime, I definitely recommend that. I personally gave the first season 8 out of 10, with the season 2 coming up next season in the winter 2025. The OVA is very, very nice to say at least. It's very a bit of a recap, not to say, but also explains what had happened in the ending of the first season, transitioning to the plot of season 2. It's still very wholesome. You still see the romance happening with Miyu and Kyoka. And the kid, Hayazuki's kid, is such an asshole, but it's because he doesn't get any love from his mom. So I get it. We've all been there in a situation when your parents are divorced and you're not, in their, life. It's hard to get love from both of them. But, I would give it a chance. If you have never seen the anime, definitely give it a look. And if you actually have watched season 1, the OVA is out to watch on Netflix. If you want a bit of a recap and to see what's to come for season 2, definitely. And besides that, I think me and Vash can say 110% that we have watched and finished Arcane season 2, which was by far one of the greatest animations we have watched this year. But if you want to hear more about that, we have a review about it on our Anime Lately podcast. Definitely, you can watch that on YouTube. It's out to listen. Definitely hear our takes of how we felt for the character, especially with Caitlyn, Vi, Echo, Jinx. I leave it more to you, Vash, because I know you have a lot more to say on that show.
Oh, trust me, I could go another 30 minutes, hour of conversation and breaking down. There's so much things that we couldn't even reach or even discuss or even break down. And I said, like, do I regret that? I wish we spoke about Act 1, Act 2, Act 3 each week instead. Hell yeah, because there's so much more to break down of characters, lines.
The kiss scene.
Everything was major. Like, look, fans, people that are watching, I don't want to have another full segment of Arcane right now. But when it comes to what has Vash watched himself, bruh, have not watched anything anime related. I have slack. I did catch up to stuff like Yakuza, a few animes I've been wanting to watch. But what's funny, Disney Plus is starting to become an anime home, which is so fucking weird. Like Disney Plus is like, for me, like the new Netflix, like where you see like a lot of different hubs in one. And it's so weird to see Disney Plus having anime exclusive there and just having stories there. So that is like, I was going through the catalog. I'm like, what do I watch from here? And it was weird because I was trying to catch up to animes I should, watch, or things I should clear off my backlog. Trying to see right now what's on.
So I'm gonna ask real quick. You have not finished Alia Tries to Hide Her Feelings in Russian and or High School of the Dead, sir?
So High School of the Dead is on Disney Plus, so that's one of the animes I do plan to finish because that's one I think I'm trying to make time for. But then I was looking into Disney Plus, seeing what other stuff to watch. One of them will be Undead Unluck that I plan to watch.
Ooh.
That's one anime that me and Crash could do a little type of mini review at the end of our episode of the week, because chat, we're gonna have a different rundown this week, so we're gonna try things out, see if things work for us, transitions and everything, and then now we try out next week, see things up. All the times will always be in the description down below. But That's one anime I was planning to watch and then left. The other one was The Rascal Does Not Dream of a Bunny Girl Senpai.
Oh yes,
I have not
please,
watched that one
yes.
yet, but I heard many great
Oh,
things of this series, and it's
110%.
it's been
My is
it's been in my
waifu.
catalog for.
I recommend it. Please, please, please. I will say real quick. You have not. We're not able to watch the movie with me when I went to go see it in theaters.
Yes.
I had a chance to go watch both of the movies before the new anime, the new season coming out right now, the new arc, the college arc happening next year. And a new movie was announced actually, the Santa Claus arc, which is going to be very, very interesting. I assume it's tying with the college arc. Definitely, I plan to watch that in theaters when it releases, as well as the new season coming up. But a very unique kind of romance with a very interesting protag with a lot of very unique characters that have different takes on romance and how they can either be loved or can either be hurt through adolescence. That's all I would say, and I really, really pray you do give it a chance, Vash.
Yeah, I will for sure check it out. That was one anime I do plan to see. I was it. I heard the Bunny Girl Senpai was a lot of people used to compare it to Monogatari, I believe.
Yes, yes, it is a decent comparison to say the least. I just feel like the animation wise is two different ballparks in itself.
Oh yeah, both
I
animation you can't really compare it to, but more as a story wise aspect from what I have heard. Like story wise. I don't know if that is relatable. I have not seen too much of Monogatari to really give that heads up to understand. And also I've not even touched the Rascal Does Not Dream a Girl of a Senpai. So I can't even speak on that as well. But those are a few options I was looking at on Disney Plus for the options that they had. But one thing I was watching or rewatching was Deadpool and Wolverine, but that's more live action. That was the only one I was rewatching because it was online. I'm like, fuck it, why not? It's there. You
can't
can't,
go wrong with the classics.
yeah, can't go wrong with an interesting movie that's comedy and funny, and it's just it's that's Deadpool and Wolverine.
For sure, for sure.
But other than since Vash is not watching anything, he just hasn't had the time. It's Thanksgiving this week, so hey, I will make the time to catch up on my other animes that I'm about to mention in our rankings. And when it comes to other summer, winter, and spring animes that I'm catching on 2024, because guys, we're coming close to the end of the season, so you better get two streams that are actually planned for this year. Two is our top 10 of the year and what are we watching for January for the winter 2025. So that is one stream that you guys will be getting of our list. It will be using like a tier chart or probably a live chart in the back, and we'll be sharing the screen, and we'll be choosing the ones that I'm watching, that Crash is watching, and the ones we're both watching together that we'll be discussing and reviewing each week. One of them is for sure Solo Leveling. My boy Sung Jin Woo. I'm gonna be on the hype train, guys. You'll be getting tired of me week to week in January until March. I'm my boy Sung Jin Woo.
Definitely, and we can't forget that the movie's coming out in the next 2 weeks. The recap of the season 1 of Solo Leveling with the first 2 episodes of season 2 coming out, I believe December 6th, December 5th. I apologize. Coming out.
That's literally me and Crash going to a movie next week.
Definitely keep an eye out for that. If you do want to hear our takes, our reviews on the first 2 episodes of season 2, definitely let us know down in the comments below. Let us know what you guys think of that review when it comes out.
Yes, let us know what you guys think about that, because now what we've seen in the anime community of what has been rating for them past week 8. You guys already heard of what we've been watching for our current binge. As you heard, we haven't been doing much other than ranking the kings and what we've been planning for the future. But now, what have we been watching for this fall season of 2024? Because this week is our personal ranking of week 8. So before we get into numbers 1 through 5, we're going to do a bit different. We're not going to review the ranking of our previous list before. No. Fuck that list. We're going to use it as a reference. What matters is our list. What we've been watching. So we're going to go from, instead of 1 through 5, we're going to go from 10 to 6. So I'm gonna go first since I have a little bit more than Crash on his list so far. I'm gonna give you my honorable mention. That is Blue Box, Tower of God, and Yakuza Fiance. The reason they're on my honorable mention, they're my numbers 12 to 14, is because I'm not cut up with them. So, but I want to mention that I will be catch up to them on the next episode 6 of Off Da Binge on week 9. I will be caught up to them for Blue Box. I'm on episode 2 out of 7, 8 episodes are out right now. Yes.
Crazy, but you know what? It's not too late to catch up. It's definitely a perfect time to binge.
Tower of God, that's the big behemoth. That one I am 12 episodes behind, but I really want to see where it goes, what fell off, and my characters that I grew to love in season 1. You know, where's Bomb, the fuck Rachel train. I want to see where all that is.
Rachel.
So Yakuza Fiance, I really want to see where that story is. Because, guys, I saw on episode 3 where that scene started, where my boy was eating out the coochie, and then the girl asked him, yo, I haven't heard from you in a bit. Where you been at? And he said, oh, you really want to know? This is the girl I like. I'm like, boy, what the fuck you doing? Why would you do this? In the middle of eating the coochie. Nah.
Yeah, he does know about episode 7. He doesn't know about the cheating.
Oh, I don't know about that yet. I don't know about that yet. Know. Hey, guys. You're going to hear, after we do a top 10 rank, we're going to add a new list, a new tier segment, and it's called Mini Reviews or Anime Spotlight. Haven't decided on what it will be, but that one will be the animes that me and Crash are watching in common, what it will be. You will find out in the next few moments. So, continue off from 14 to 12. My number 11 is Tying the Knot with the with an Amagami sister. I'm going to save my thoughts on that one. Not saying that was a bad episode, bad list, but I'm going to save my thoughts for our mini reviews because me and Crash are watching it. Arifureta is my number 10. Save my thoughts for that one. You're My Servant as well. However, number 8, the healer who was banished from his party is in fact the strongest. Look, in this episode, I'm going to just read it from the bio. Strange things continue to happen in the Marda Labyrinth. Lost, who's the main character, witnessing a new victim once again requests for the guild to take action. However, once again, he's rejected by Hanzum. As Lost persists, Hanzum asks, have you forgotten me completely? So in this episode, we find out that Hanzum and Lost actually have a long-time friendship years ago, but he changed his name, he changed his identity, so it wasn't really easy, recognizable. So how the fuck to do that? Like, how did you forget about me so easily? I'm like, my dude, you look like and act like a different person. How the fuck am I supposed to know is you? Like, I don't know you is you because you just literally never about to mention it. And now after I've been coming to you about these dilemmas, you just want to tell me now. And you're telling me now, hey, as a friend. I love it when people always say this in animes, or we even spoke about this on our Arcane review. I love it when the elders say, hey, I think you should leave the city. I advise you to leave the city. The best way, fast, immediately, leave like tonight. But doesn't say why. Doesn't say why. Like, hey, the reason is because of X, Y, and Z. But no. He just says you should leave the city. Nah. Our MC Lost just says, nah, I'm good. I'm gonna just stay. I'm gonna fight. I don't know why you're telling me nah. And I'm not gonna ask you why. I'm gonna just say nah. Go back to the hotel, stay with my party, stay with my crew, and we're gonna move on. I'm like, no. Ask the guy why. Or the guy, tell him, Hanzum, why? But then we find out there's a lore. There's a fairy tale. You know how there's always fairy tales in the Seekers or in stories that are fantasy, like,
there's
hey.
Fucking something,
so
isn't there?
In this one, we hear that there's a dragon and there's a princess. A princess that someday has a brown hair, but then wakes up with blue hair. Why? But it's because she's the chosen one. That's chosen from the god that needs to defeat the dragon. That's what we find out is the fairy tale. It's the lore. And I'm like, okay, cool. And that's how the episode ends off. I'm like, we're not going to get more information from that? Okay, cool. It gives a bit of information. So that's for number 8. The healer who was banished from his party is in fact the strongest. We find out that there is more to it. But hey, goodbye Dragon Life. not much to say. It just pushes the story along. The one thing I like and I want to highlight about the Good Bad Dragon Life is, so Crash, have you ever had a character in an anime or medium story that you're watching, right? And this character reminded me a lot of Escanor, if anybody has watched the Seven Deadly Sins. Pridefulness. Remember how in the past episode I said how in Goodbye Dragon we have a Knight Commander who's like the strongest out of the demon who fought our main character. I don't even have his name on it. That's my apologies. For the main character of Goodbye Dragon Life, he was kind of honored to fight him in Earthly. But finding out later that in the past, before he became a demon Knight Commander, he was actually a human that was actually admiring the white dragon that was before 800 years ago, 1,000 years ago, who knows? We don't really have a time left. So that's a beautiful story how everything came full circle for this Knight Commander that who used to be inspired and admirable for this demon. I mean, for this white dragon. Now that he's a Knight Commander demon, he's going to be fighting this white dragon in a human form. And he appreciates it like, wow, the guy that I've always admired and look up to, I'm going to be fighting him. So he's like more like, whoa, what the fuck? That's insane. So that's a beautiful thing to see that a soldier that kind of lost interest in battle because you became too powerful. Now you can fight the guy that kind of inspire you. You admire to become that person and you saw his godly powers. And now you're going to share blow, share, cross sword. That is beautiful. It's sad as fuck, but it's beautiful.
So, High School DxD with Issei, pretty much him as being like, the red Emperor Dragon and Albion being the white, white Emperor Dragon, more or less. Okay. I was like, where you were alluding with this? And I'm like, this is a shit ton like High School DxD, but I didn't want to I didn't want to say nothing. I'm like, I think that's what you referred to. Yeah. I do know characters like that. Yeah. I know exactly what you mean. To answer your question, I definitely know characters like that. And
I was gonna mention my last number 6 is Demon Lord 2099. I cut up. Look, I cut up from episode 2 to now. This man became a streamer. He became a streamer in 2 weeks. He got 1 million followers, 1 million subscribers.
My boy, let's go. Thank you, chat. Thank you.
And look, he put the work. He streamed every day. He had a schedule. He was playing a PlayStation console that looked like a PlayStation 1 type of skin. So that was pretty cool controller. And the fight animation for each of those episodes of Binge, episodes 3 to 7, was really good. I gotta give props. The animation was very subpar. Demon Lord, the main character, Velto.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever played the game of Metroid of Samus? You know the big bad type of villain, the dragon RIDLEY, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you know how Frieza has a first form, a second form, and then the final form that he stays in now, right?
Yeah.
This demon lord, Velto, he has a second form. And his second form is the motherfucking dragon RIDLEY.
Really?
Yeah. I'm not kidding.
Okay.
I'm not kidding. This dude literally popped out and said, there's only 2 people that have seen this form. You will be the second. The first one is the hero. And I've only used this as the last resort. And I'm like, okay, cool. Once this dude transform, I'm like, you literally are RIDLEY, just more blacker and less holes in your wings. Like, you literally are the RIDLEY.
Okay.
And honestly, OP as fuck. Like,
I am gonna say I have seen a lot of photos lately with Demon Lord, so I do know everyone's really intrigued with what's going on. So I'm gonna take your word 100%. It's something incredible is going down. So the fact that you're telling me he's showing off his ultimate form to this character, you already know it's getting interesting. It's getting a little spicy.
And plus,
you
look,
could say
it's number 6 on the ranking of the list that we always reference, and it's number 6
Yeah.
on my list. I feel like that's a good list compared to the other animes I've watched. For this number being number 6, and as a catch up, and it shows that he's powerful. It shows the animation. The only thing I'm confused is that the guy that he destroyed, or the big bad, is like, you know, when you fight the final boss in a mafia, but that mafia boss is the boss of the town or city, but then he reports to somebody else. I feel like now we're about to see the person he reports to. Like, who's the person above him now? Are we about to see him? Because now we're about to go to episode 8. So that means we have 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. We have 4 episodes. I said 4, but then I have 5 fingers up there. 5 episodes left. So then there's more to tell. So where does that lead to? So that's what I'm curious about when it comes to Demon Lord 29, and where does it all lead up to after this? Because I know that he's going to still stream by next episode. I still don't check the previews. Chat, I still don't check the previews. Fuck the previews still. I don't check it. Except for 2 animes, but I'm going to mention them later. Except for 2 animes, I don't check the previews. But Demon Lord 29 exceeded my expectation, and as a viewer, I was very happy about.
I will say real quick. You said you binge episode 3 to 7 for
Correct.
Demon Lord 29, right? So I will mention, if you guys do want to check the list of the list we're referring to, it's on Anime Corner. You can check it out on their website. Week 4 and through now, Demon Lord 2099 is at the bottom of the list. It's rank 8, rank 7, even rank 10 at certain points. So the fact that it's coming up, it's going high and low, and still maintaining on top 10 for the week is very good. You know that the story plot is getting interesting, and even though you're only getting to episode 8, it's just showing like there's still more to tell to the story. It's gonna get more interesting.
Yeah,
so
like,
I don't think.
Out of 40 animes right now premiering this fall season, for it to be on the top 10 in a website, to me that's a good type of reference. That's a good list.
I have good expectations, and I can't wait to hear your review of how this story ends, especially since there's only 5 episodes left. I hope there's a puppet master at the end of this. I really can't wait for you to tell me about it.
Awesome. So that's my numbers 14 to 12 honorable mentions and 11 through 6. Now, I'm going to swing it back to you, Crash. What are yours 9 through 6?
Okay. My honorable mentions, for, let's put it as top, rank 10, just for sakes and purposes, right? I'm gonna give it to Ranking of Kings. I know it's not, current anime right now, but for the sake of argument, just to have something on the 10 to make it make sense, it's, not current, but it's still good anime nonetheless. So I do recommend it. Definitely give it a watch. Has great fight sequences, great story, a very great protagonist, great supporting characters, great voice actors. I think Ranking of the Kings is definitely a must-watch for anybody who's genuinely interested. And the first season has 23 episodes, so if you're looking for an anime that is going to give you a bit of time, definitely to watch something that is not 12 episodes, definitely watch Ranking of Kings. So now my current anime, starting from rank 9, we have MF Ghost. I have nothing to report on the last episode that had came out, pretty much. All I would say is that the race is almost over, and that the drivers are catching up pretty much at Kanta. That's pretty much it. Right now the season episode 9, I believe, just came out for it yesterday on Sunday. We are doing a pre-recording for Monday, but just to make an idea, we're doing it for Sunday that came out. The race probably is now over. I'm really curious to see who is going to rank the first top 5 on the race. I hope Kanta stays at 4. I believe he was at 4 or 5. So I'm looking forward to see how he goes in the race. Now that everyone's catching up with him. That's rank 9. Rank 8 is 2.5 Dimensional Seduction. In this one, we're going to see pretty much the cons of going to a summer convention, especially on a very hot summer day. Pretty much Risa gets heat stroke from standing too long. She's not taking a break because she's being stubborn. She thinks she can handle the pressure of, handling the crowd, getting the poses and everything.
Oh,
but
no,
nothing's
guys,
like,
drink your water. In cons, nah. In cons, I've learned this in cons, parties, like raves and everything, and What's the other thing? And adventure parks. Those are the three that you gotta be hydrated as a motherfucker. That's the one time I was joking about this. That the one time I learned that my wife would get mad is because she was tired of walking and mad at the sun. But I got the burn of it when we were walking around. I believe it was Disney World or Universal like 5 years ago. Nothing on her. It's just the experience of the sun beaming at you for 12, 14 hours on a walking day. Your heels, feet are burning from walking all day, waiting in lines, going to any type of adventure ride or go to any screening or con panel. It's exhausting because you're going from point A to point B to Z to D to F to different spots. It's like 3 days back to back. It's exhausting.
Shout out to the teacher who was already recommending water breaks, even in the previous episode. Like, you definitely gotta telling the MC, hey, you gotta watch out. You gotta give them like 10 minutes to take photos and then water breaks, cool them off. So it was good to know that he was implementing that, giving them what they wanted, even though they were being stubborn. Unfortunately, yeah, she did get heat stroke, so because of that, they had to leave the convention early, and now because of that, they only have one more day to try to take good photos to try to find Arya's father. Because of this, the MC and her friends pretty much have like a little serious moment where they, tell Risa that they need her to be more confident in herself, be more realistic. Tell us how you want us to take photos. Tell us what you want to do, and we'll do it. We're your friends. We're not gonna be mean. We're not gonna do you dirty. Like we want to learn. We want to do it your way because we want to make this cosplay perfect. So the rest of the episode is just them reenacting the poses that that they're doing in the manga, pretty much with Lilith and her crew. And now they're gonna go back to day 2 of Comiket to try to take better photos. I will say I am ahead by 1 episode, so I know the next episode is gonna be in the top 10, 100%. And all I will say is that episode definitely was a little touching, to say the least. You guys I can't wait for you guys to see the reaction of what's to come with all these new characters, especially Arya and her father. That's all I'm gonna say for that.
Okay.
That was number 8. That was number 8 of 2.5 Dimensional Seduction. Number 7, Yakuza Fiance. I had a lot to say last episode about the last the show and everything. Right now in Yakuza Fiance, the story's getting more interesting, where we see Tsubaki's being blackmailed now by this this piece of shit, this asshole that pretty much, like, I guess he leads younger girls into like some agency that pretty much does like pornography, something of that sort. And because of that, that makes those girls pretty much dead. We don't know why or how, or go missing or something like that. And Yakuza's aware about this, but they're not doing anything about it because we don't know why. So Tsubaki's being blackmailed by the same people. And pretty much what this guy is telling her to do is to lead Hiroshima and Yoshino to an area where something will go along the lines of probably assassination or kidnapping or just taking them out the picture. Okay. So the two of them are not oblivious. They know something is up, but they don't know exactly what. So instead of communicating to each other what's going to happen, the both of them are doing their own thing separately, as organized crime family people do, and they're investigating in their own secret, illegal ways to figure out who it is that's trying to, manipulate behind the scenes, and pretty much who it is that's trying to like get rid of them. And we see a plot twist happen at the very end, which I will not speak on because I believe it's going to tie into something more serious in the next episode. But all I would say is that the meetup spot was not the meetup spot that we're supposed to meet up in, and now we see Yoshino in an area all by herself with no backup, no bodyguards, not even her mans, in pretty much an area where another crime family may be, and she might potentially be in danger. So I'm really curious to see how that's going to go down next episode. Rank 6 for me, last but not least, is going to be Arifureta.
If I do get just save our thoughts for the mini review, because I know it's going to be quick, so it's not going to be much, because I know for us it's going to be quick for Arifureta and Yuma serving and Time of the Knot, so we can literally just do like rapid fire for those.
That's fine. That'd be my my first 6 rankings.
All right, so when it comes to the next one, my numbers 5 through 1 for this week, it will be Number 5, Dragon Ball Daima. Crash. Go watch Dragon Ball Daima. Win episode 7. Just look. We're on Thanksgiving week. Just binge that. Just binge 1 through 7. They're perfect lower episodes because we have Goku and his companions continue the journey, but the Gendarmerie appear in the bar the way again. Perhaps due to them knowing the location of the magic collar around Pansy neck, can the bond with their friends and save Pansy from peril. Look, the reason I love this episode and high up there as my list of number 5, because we had, rest in peace Akira Toriyama and what he has done when it comes to the creator. But the lines, for example, one of the characters named Pansy, she said, "How did you raise a kid?" His answer was, "I wasn't really involved."
Yeah, I've seen the meme. I've seen that's the most funniest shit I've seen all day with that.
Hell yeah, like
I would never there for that. That if that's not the definition of I went to the store to buy some milk, I don't know what the fuck is.
But it's true to that extent because he was there for Gohan. He just wasn't there everything for Gohan. The one son he wasn't there for is Goten. So
Yeah, no, he was not there for Goten. I in retrospect he was dead. So that's only fair. Gohan, I feel like even then he wasn't really there. He was just along for the ride of all the adventures. You got to remember, his brother kidnapped him in that sense. His uncle pretty much kidnapped him.
Yeah, about to say, his uncle literally said, "Hey guys, just met you. I'm gonna rob you now." You're like, Raditz, like really, Raditz, like this ain't gonna do it to your brother. Alright.
Yeah, like come on, that's your nephew if I'm not mistaken. Like what the fuck?
Also, if you like lore in Dragon Ball, like we learned the Supreme Kai actual name, and I'm not gonna spoil to anybody because just in case that I love that. I literally paused it and I wrote in the third like, oh my god, Supreme Kai is amazing this episode. He get the hands. Bro literally fought a couple people and literally just went pop, pop, pop. And I'm like, oh, you could fight. Like, you could give hands. Like, that's amazing. Because usually when we see them, they're like all peaceful people. Like, Dende and like all these people that are supposed to be protectors to our universe or to our planet. They're always about love and peace. Like, my name, Vash, he's all about love and peace, trying on everything. But sometimes you gotta give the smack to somebody. Like,
you gotta roll the fade. You gotta give it how it is.
And Supreme Kai, we find out he got the name, and he's more powerful than he seems. And I really, really appreciate that because he has abilities that a lot of people should be able to use, but it's not common knowledge. And he did something where Pansy was like, "Oh, I just got my freedom back because of something you did," and it was all appreciated. Those things was really dope to see. Vegeta and his crew are finally about to connect with Goku and everything. Goku's impatient. But next episode 8, we're about to see Hands because he's about to fight one of the protectors of the Dragon Balls in the Demon World. So Crash, right now is the perfect time to catch up because we're about to see pure action from here on out. Because episode 8 is Goku fighting the other Dragon Balls protectors, and Vegeta's about to join in, Piccolo on them. So we're about to see Hands after Hands in the next couple episodes, so I'm really excited to see that. And I just like how the comedy has been very well balanced throughout these episodes.
I had to go check myself on my anime list. Also, shout out to my anime list. Hope you sponsor us, please. To see how many more, to see how many more episodes. Like how long is the show gonna go for? The duration, and I still see that there is no. It's still a question mark. Nobody knows still how long it's gonna run. So, the goal is definitely to catch up to Daima. I'm not gonna skip out on it. It's a show that I do love. I do love Dragon Ball. But this, like I said, this is a show I can binge 1, 2, 3 very quick. Like I am very infatuated with Dragon Ball. I will not be bored by it, even if it's filler, even if it's like something it's getting slow to a point. Of course, and that's fine with it. But the thing is, like, it's Dragon Ball. It's Goku. There's always gonna be, like Vash said, the comedy is hitting right now. The fight sequences are going hard. I know that personally. Reading the manga first and then the anime, or even the anime and then the manga first. I know it's gonna hit. I know Toriyama, may he rest in peace, is still gonna put out one of like the biggest bangers, even to this day with him not being with us. I know it's not gonna fail. So if I'm not able to catch up by the end of this season, for sure it's gonna keep going, and I know I can catch up with it really quick. I know I'm gonna be able to see the end and definitely give my best take on it. So for sure, I will do my best. If I don't, trust me, I promise. I'll even say here before it ends, I will be up to date with this show 110%.
I I say this, Endless doesn't have a end date for Dragon Ball Daima. We don't know if it's a core 12, 13 episodes. We don't know if it's 2 cores, 26, 24 episodes. We don't know none of these things. So whichever it is, I can't wait to see where it ends. Hopefully, if it's 12 episodes, how the fuck are you gonna wrap the story in 5? I don't know how you're gonna do this. I don't know how you're gonna wrap
Yeah,
five
no,
episodes. It's impossible. Like unless it's gonna be like part 2 in the future, then yeah, it makes sense. But if Dragon Ball Daima is only 1 core, this is no way.
it makes me think now, and like I should know this. Maybe you would know more than me. How many episodes did it have in Z? Or like
Well,
you know,
good thing you're asking, cause Dragon Ball Z has 291 episodes. Dragon Ball Super has 131 episodes.
okay, okay.
But thing is,
Um,
with Daima, Dragon Ball Super, and Z, they never announce how many episodes they're having. So Dragon Ball don't really tell you, "Hey guys, we're having 24 episodes." No, did they just they just release it week to week until
yeah.
the time comes? They're like, "You're gonna be watching the last 5 episodes in 5 weeks." I'm like, "Oh, okay, all right, we're done then after this." So we just have to wait and see. As you still wait and see, my number 4 is as I reincarnated aristocrat. I'll use my praiser skill to rise in the world. Season 2, episode 8. Our side has taken heavy losses, but the battle of the castle of Roto is still undecided. Can Korin's forces take the victor, and will Lupa and his wife be reunited and give birth in mid-battle? Well, guess what, guys? Minor spoiler. This chick gave birth during mid-battle and during escaping. She had the chance to give during mid-battle. How is it that you have the time to run away, escape from battle, escape from a castle, run through a forest, and during that time you gave birth? Yo, I gave you props. I gave you props. And the person that was with them, she's like an assassin person, bounty hunter, a person like meant for hire, like a mercenary.
You had me an assassin. Go on.
I love her response was she's like, because the person that she came that got hired was the main character ours, and by the end of the episode, ours was like, "Hey, I'm sorry that you have to, be a midwife and do all this. You was hired for more of this. So apologies if I have to pay you more." And the assassin response was very wholesome. She said, "Look, I never thought I would be a midwife. It came in the process, and 2, if I could see this beautiful ending, it was all worth it." And I'm like, "Damn, girl got more heart. I appreciate it." Because she technically didn't have to be as positive or do what she had to do. She chose this because I love this anime. It's one of my number 4. It's usually my top 3, but this one is number 4 because my number 3. Woo! Can't wait to talk about that one. My number 4 for this one is because of how impactful it is when you follow a leader and that you don't think about it. You follow them with full on belief and full on choice of where they could be and lead up to. You'll go until the end of the world, no matter if the choice is right or wrong. The reason with this anime is when you follow the leader of a pack or somebody, you have no choice. Even if in the line of fire, remember those memes that's been going on with Call of Duty, where for Black Ops 6, right? Anybody's playing this game, and you have the little meme clip where you're about to snipe somebody, and the meme of somebody say, "Be careful, Mr. President," and gets shot instead. So this is what kind of happened in this episode, where the kingdom that's getting invaded, the king, is on the battlefield, the general, but he knows that the people he's versing, our MCRs and his people, are doing a fake retreat, so they could bring and bait everyone to the forest and be like, come through here so we could come and murder you and do a trap. Smart move, right? Smart move. Great strategic. The king, the general, knew, nah, we ain't going up there as a fake retreat. How is it that you tell me my right-hand man swing his pass by me and be like, I'm gonna take the head of the general. Let's go. And I'm like, damn. You just instigated the other troops to follow you. And that's what he did. So, but that's your right hand man. So you have the decision, let your right hand man go into battle and die, or run and chase your right hand man because that's your fucking right hand man and your childhood friend and the friend that is like your lightning rod that keeps you grounded. You are an insane motherfucker. You are a general. You are a king that knows how to kill and knows how you have great powers and everything. Out of the what's the word? Out of the appraisal skill that our main character Ars could see, this king slash general, his powers out of skill set out of 100 is 100. So that means he maxed his skill set already. So for him to ignore the cognitive correct decision of, hey, I shouldn't go over there, let me not be stupid and go behind my right hand man. Nah, he ignored that. He went for him. Truth be told,
Wow.
the right hand man got his ass kicked by Ars, the main character, his right hand general, but it was evenly matched. Prowls was 89 out of 92. Both of them was evenly matched. But you know what took the advantage of Ars general right hand man? You know why he won? Because the ingenuity was higher skill set. His ingenuity was a 60, and the of his opponent of the right hand man general king, his ingenuity was 42. So there was a difference of ingenuity, of learning your surroundings, knowing to use your surroundings for your advantage.
Wow. I just listening to you being passionate about the episode alone, I'm like, damn, now I would have watched just that episode alone. I was like, damn, what the fuck? If that was my, I could say, I already know the answer to that question. Look, my homie's going to battle. He's my ride or die, bro. We out. Let's go. Come on. Like, I'm not letting you go alone in this.
Exactly.
Like, we're going to do this together. We're not going at all, you know?
And plus, even when the right hand man lost, he was about to do senpakuto. He was learning about to kill himself. But then the king, beautifully, like I'm getting goosebumps about it, where the king grabbed the knife with his hand and was bleeding, and the right hand man was like, "Why you stopping me to kill myself? I failed you." I'm like, "No, you dying will hurt me more. You lost. That's okay. We will rebuild. But you losing, I could have stayed and gone back to the castle. But once I saw you going to battle and following to the forest, I lost my conscience. My gut, my feeling said, run whole, go to you. You is what matter." And that to me was impactful because, as you said, when your homies are in battle, what's the best decision? Is one for all and all for one. That's literally like the catchphrase of a lot of people in battles, in armies, and like, hey, we come back as one or we all die as one. It sucks to say, but like
No,
that is the truth. And when I saw that from a king still believing in his subject and even believing in his right hand man, I thought that was beautiful. And even Ars, the main character, appreciated that. Like, nah, I don't need you to die. Like, you're still a skillful player. You can help us once we fix our survival and everything. And something I appreciated by the end of the episode, the Soyos, the people that got lost in both sides of battle, they all buried them and they gave them a little prayer. And to me, that was beautiful because you don't get to see that in a lot of mediums, like a little 2-minute scene of talking about the people that got lost in both sides. And this was just technically a side to get the nation together. So knowing that technically both sides are losing numbers of forces that can actually help them to stay as a nation, but is a fight for beliefs, and that is the hardest thing to kind of go for, and that's the toughest challenge.
That was a beautiful summary, Vash. I have to say.
Thank you.
And honestly, that's just like the best thing I can get out of that. And I love to hear animes give stories like that. Homies are your ride or die. So never forget where true friendship comes from. Loyalty is very hard to come by nowadays, and that's the honest truth. And the fact that anime is teaching that now, like if you have a very close friend, a very good friend that you love and cherish, and that you'll do anything for them, I would recommend, even though I haven't watched the anime, take that practice into real life. If you have somebody close like that, always let them know how much they mean to you, and always have their back, because the world is very cruel, very evil, and you will never. It will be very hard to find a lot of people like that person.
I agree. And look, my next 3 animes are in my top 3. I'm very proud of this list because a big shout out to Crash. I couldn't rank them just without writing the bios. And once I started to write the bios and understand what each episode was this week, it was easier to put them in order to know how I could feel resonate. And look, chat, when it comes to anime, when it comes to storytelling, I'm not always about the animation. Yes, animation could always be a Demon Slayer type of high tier anime, beautiful story and everything. Yes, that matters. But as long as that I could resonate with the characters and resonate with the story, that to me matters most. The most notorious talker runs in the world's greatest clan. Episode 8. Look, chat. If it wasn't for Danadon or Villainess, this would be number 1. Because this guy, Noel, bro, Okarun, he may not got balls right now. He just got one back. Noel in this talker anime, bro, has the biggest cojones in any anime that I could speak of right now. The reason I say this because look, whoo, imagine you are speaking to a mafia boss after you just had a gruesome battle. In this previous episode 7, the episode 8 climax in the beginning, the battle you won, you could enjoy your souls. But then the mafia boss that you actually invite as a witness wants to talk to you in private. You guys go to a barn, little type of living room. He talks to you, the mafia boss. The mafia boss said, like, hey, I'm asking you one last time. I've asked you a couple times before. Would you want to join the family? Noel said, nah, I don't got no interest. However, something that we didn't know, this mafia boss, Albert Gambino, choosing, he literally said, cool. However, one of my magic abilities is that when I ask somebody, I believe it was 2 or 3 times, and the same answer is still no, or the same question, and the answer is no, I could steal your heart. One, what kind of fucking magical ability is that you ask me 2 or 3 questions, and I say no, and somehow my heart gets transferred to your hand? So the Noel character is literally sitting in a bar stool chair with no heart, but he hears his heart breathing inside his body, but it's not inside.
Mm-hmm.
The mafia boss is holding his heart on the hand, and literally was telling him like, so yeah, so now you have another option. It's either you die right now and I squeeze your heart, or you join my mafia family. Bro, the balls that this guy Noah had. I have goosebumps even thinking about it. Imagine Shikamaru, but like a Sasuke type of crazy reaction when he has the curse mark, or when he had his fucking Sharingan, like just going insane. This character Noel had the audacity to literally scream at the guy that's holding his heart. Literally say, go fuck yourself. I'm not joining your family. Not joining your family. Fuck your family idea. I'm going to still be doing my thing. And if you're going to kill me now. The mafia boss was like, you dead ass. He said, yes. You want to kill me? Go ahead. You got the heart. Squeeze it. If not, give me my heart back and watch me get stronger. And I'll come back and kill you one day. And I'm like, hold up.
He said you wouldn't do it, pussy.
He already said it.
He said you wouldn't do it, pussy.
Come for me. And if you don't come for me, kill me now, I will come for you in the future and murder you myself. The mafia boss, his reaction while holding the brain, like in his head, like, this motherfucker's insane. I got his heart. And he has the audacity to literally be like, yeah, kill me now, or I'm gonna murder you right after giving my heart back. And it's just insane to have a personality like that. Look, guys, I'm tough. I'm mentally tough in my head. But to have somebody have my heart, that's a cognitive mindset that you gotta prepare yourself mentally and know how to handle a situation like this. And if you handle it wrong, the person that has your heart could just murder you.
Oh, right. Oh, God.
So it's like the way this character Noel handled it so beautifully, knowing how to talk back to Mafia Boss and playing to his hands. And he even was analyzing the situation while also being scared shitless. And even the character said to himself, like, fuck, I could die. Like, this is not what I planned. And I didn't know this was my outcome. Truth be told, guess what, Chad? The Mafia Boss got scared, but he didn't admit it. He's like, oh, you know what?
I want to smoke. He said, I want to smoke.
No. He said, I was joking. I was pulling your heartstring. I just testing the water. See how you react.
Way.
Here, you can have your heart back. Give the heart back. Like, look, let bygones be bygones. I was just playing around, my G. I love you. Mwah, mwah. You're amazing. I'm gonna head out. It was a pleasure to do business as always, sweetheart. Once he stepped out, his right-hand man, Noel's right-hand man, the girl that is his sword, says, quickly reminder to Crash for anybody that don't remember, Noel is a speaker.
He has no fighting skills.
He has no fighting skills.
No.
He could hold his ground, but only to a limit. He's not a fighter. He's on talker. He's a strategist. So his actual fighter, his right-hand man, was outside the whole time paying attention. The way this girl, the big titty girl, literally his right-hand man just staring at the Mafia Boss when he walks around, and the Mafia Boss just looks back like, I forgot, she said something, a line, but she said it so smooth, and the Mafia Boss like, touche, just walk away. Noel, after the Mafia Boss left, his heart dropped. He was like, shit, I actually went through that. I actually got it. Whoo, shit, I did it. I'm like, my dude, yeah, you did. It's pretty shocking you did. Like, you technically could have fucked yourself up, but you did.
My boy rolled a charisma, and he rolled a nat 20. Like, he
did.
He had it.
He did. He rolled the nat 20 on God. If he rolled any less, he would have died.
That man was cooked.
He was cooked. But speaking about being cooked, look, Madonna Don, chat, that is my number one. I'm gonna tell you now, that's my number one. Number two, I'm gonna keep it short and simple. Number two is I will become a villainess who goes down in history. And man, number 2 and 3 are solid. Number 1 is solid. Any of these 3 could switch places, and I'm okay with that, chat. You know why? Because how is it that after 2-year training, look, Crash. Remember how I told you last week that our girl had a little time skip of a training? She is a training arc and everything, right? And you said it. And you said behind the scenes, you saw a picture of her in her black eye patch already, right?
I will say, all the animes you have listed so far, I have seen every single one of them on my timeline. Even though, despite my takes, my opinions on the shows that I'm not watching, they are very, very mainstream right now. They are things are happening right now, and there's a reason why they're on your personal top 10. That's why they are being shown online. It shows. It shows. I can't be mad at the fact. Like, the fact that people are speaking about it online is very good. That means the show is getting traction. The episodes are getting somewhere.
I feel bad for the father of this girl, because if I was her father, man, I will be having a heart attack or anxiety every week with this child. And I love how he's raising her, because he is mad of what she did. For anybody, quick spoiler warning. But if you don't want to see, skip ahead to the description, because the next segment we're going back to Crash and hear his 5 through 1. So if you guys don't want to hear spoiler for mine for this, quick one is she stabbed. Sorry, wrong word. She gave her eye, her left. She gave her left eye.
Yeah.
To the person that's like her grandfather type of father figure, that she's been going to this old town that is in the slums, that they don't have no crops and everything. but girl's been helping them to grow and progress. This town that had no hope in surviving, no hope in progressing, she's been helping them for the past 5-8 years. Now that she's 15, she learned level 91 magic, dark magic, so her high skill is very up there. She learned this one magic skill was to sacrifice her own eye so she could give it to this man that's being helping her, advising her, shadowing her, just showing her the ways of how to be an upright lady of what they both could tell or agree on as being as a villainess. But then she gave up her eye to give it to him so he could see the world in a new eye, because he lost his eyes because of a sad tragedy. I'll tell you this. If you watch it, you will know why. But then the father find out that she gave up the eye. As any parent would, reaction is, what the fuck? What the fuck you did? Her answer was like, I gave up my eye by my own free will, and I gave it to somebody else because they have helped me through the years. And this father was like, what? You did that? You did? Okay. I mean, I agree with your choices, but I love you. And my daughter. Fuck! I should love his father reaction. But the one thing is, out of this episode that got me in more like, what? The prince who is in love with her. But the way she responded to him was more of the, not like, the cheery type of villainous role that she's been playing of, playing the sarcastic villainous analyzing role. The prince, obviously, anybody that gets worried that you're in love with, you want to ask 21 questions to know the why, the who, the what, the where, why, how the fuck this happened. She got so claustrophobic that she snapped, which makes sense. But then we find that there's like a outside character that we don't know, that we just got introduced by the end. I feel like by this next episode 9, we're gonna get introduced of, because the line this random character said, "This is not how a villainess should act. You're playing differently." So I'm curious now that this is the character that is in charge of the world, because you know what's happening of the villainous side, or are you a person that knows about the game and you also join the game as well, or you're a friend of it? So I'm really curious to see where this anime will be going the next season. It has to be on suspense. This is one anime that I'm always looking forward week to week. Like, this is one anime that I'm always to have on my top 3 that I am always looking forward to. And I'm curious to see how the relationship with the prince will continue, because now the prince is like, whoa, she doesn't want my help, she doesn't want my space, what's going on here? And now he's second guessing. So is this the leverage to push the prince to the hero now? That's what I'm worried. So did our MC, did our villainess fuck up?
Only time will tell, really.
Yeah.
Only the next episode is really gonna. I'm intrigued. I know, like, the scenes already of the time skip, how she looks now. She looks fire. Like,
She looks amazing.
In a good way, nothing like,
yeah,
weird
of
or
course.
anything like that.
Girl looks amazing. Even her servant was, love struck. Like girl, the boy, I think he's 12 or something, and like once he came back to see her, that girl got bigger, 15 years old. He stuttered. He stammered. He's like, oh my God, she's so pretty now. Like, makes sense. For the reason she is a pretty type of 15-year-old. For 12-year-old, she's like, oh my God, you're beautiful.
I can't wait to hear what you have to speak on this on the next episode. I hope it gets better. I hope we find out about this mysterious character, and I hope the prince still maintains his romantic feelings for the villainess.
Yeah, it's just gonna be an interesting take of where it can lead up to. But next one is done, but I'll save it for our review when it comes down for the mini review or episode of the week. Let's check into it when it comes to that conversation. Now we jump into Crash numbers 5 through 1. What are your animes of the list ranking?
So, going from top 5 and below, The rank number 5 is tying the knot with an Amagami sister. You want me to speak on it, the whole thing together with me? How you want to do this?
Or if I do, we could save it since ours are gonna be short, and cause that's right after you do your list. Since I know the next, the only one you're gonna speak on is Danmachi and Blue Box. So if you wanna jump into your others, we could just save that right there for the Mina reviews.
Okay, same thing for Your Miss Servant.
Yeah.
Okay, so rank 5, tying the knot with an Amagami sister. Rank 4, You Are Miss Servant. I'll speak on these, in the mini reviews. Rank 3 is it wrong to try to pick up girls in the dungeon? The ranking for me this season was a little hard. There were shows that were a little forgetful, and there were shows that were just you could not get that out of your mind. And I'm going to explain more about that with these top 3. So with Danmachi, this episode going around was the least eventful for me, to say the least.
Oh,
the
really?
the plot is progressing, but the thing is, if it's not getting interesting to the point where you're seeing something spicy happening, like with the previous episodes, I'm not gonna put, like, if it's like top 2, top 3, cool. Even though it is on the top 3, I will have to admit, honestly, the only reason why it is on the top 3 is because of the plot. If it wasn't for that, honestly, Your Miss Servant would have been top 3. And I never put any mid, and I say this respectfully, I never put mid animes on my top 3 ever on my list. So the fact that it's even high up there in 4 says a lot about this week alone. So what I will say about this last episode that came out with Danmachi was Freya is having trouble getting spell under, her spell under her charms to, get him to fall in love with her naturally. You're starting to see her stress on this, and her subordinates, her familia, really see that. So they're putting more pressure on Bell to, in the arena for him to, train harder to feel her love, which is really tough love if you really feel on it. Meanwhile, you're seeing more forces at work trying to rebel against Freya's love charm. So now you see Hermes, who originally, he's very intelligent. He's very smart. He's very witted. He understands something's happening, but at the same time, he also knows that if he tries to figure it out, he falls back under the love spell and he forgets everything. So through clues, he realizes what's happening, and through the help of Estesia and his right-hand man, the girl, I always butcher her name, starts with A. I'm sorry, guys. But the blue-haired girl, the one with the wings for, on her feet, yada, 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 can turn invisible. He breaks the spell in a sense. He kind of understands now, what needs to be done, which is just literally do nothing, continue doing what you're doing, just play stupid. So that's literally what's happening. So Hermes is now not oblivious. He understands what's going on, but to help out, he has to play the fool to make people believe that he doesn't know anything Sekwe, he doesn't fall under the spell, so he can help out Bell. We don't know what's going to happen next. I personally don't know what's going to happen next. Freya's still trying to get into bed with Bell. He's still not giving her the chance at all. I kind of can't wait to see. I hope it gets better, because it was a little boring, to say the least, with this one. My rank 2 is Blue Box. This gets a little interesting because it is relatable in a lot of ways. And the romance aspect, I know some people have been in that relatable scene. That's why I gave it a little bit more higher. Mind you, I didn't care for it as much, surprisingly too, but I had to give it props that it is relatable in that aspect. So for the previous episode that just came out, Taiki, as much as he tried, he went into the badminton tournament, to try to get into nationals. He played doubles with his partner.
Oh,
failed.
nice.
He went in and he failed. He lost.
Oh, he failed.
Okay.
Oh, never mind.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. Yeah.
No, he failed. He outright. They lost first round. Okay, all good. That was doubles. He still got singles. Bet. He runs into a character that dropped his wallet. He's nice about it. He's like, oh, hey, bro, you dropped your wallet. And the guy's sleeping. He realized, oh shit, I did it. My fault. Good looks. And walking away, he, that character talks to himself he plays badminton. He's a very nice person. He's not gonna last long in the tournament. And you see that he is part of the academy. I don't remember the name of the academy, but he's part of the academy that, it was always the top first, the top ranked, badminton games. So his singles tournament game comes up. He's like, okay, bet. I'm pumped. I'm ready. I know what I have to do to get to finals. Like, he's so hyped up in his mind, and he starts playing this character, and you start seeing him start swinging the racket the first couple of times. Next thing you know, game fucking lost by a landslide. He got smoked.
Damn.
He's like looking around like, that was it? I was just warming up. He's like, yeah, bro, you got smoked. You trash. And everyone's like, bro, get out the court. Start helping out with scores. Like, what you doing? Like, that's it. Game's over. Like, what you still doing? Saying? He's like, that was so quick. What the fuck? Like, I was just worried. He's like, yeah, and you didn't do good. You fucked up. You failed. Try again next year. And he was like, but I can't, because now senpai, this girl that I love, Chinatsu, she's gonna graduate. She's not gonna be able to see me. Like, I just can't. We gotta run it back. Like, yeah, no, bye, you done, go. And the person that he played was the character who he found the wallet for, and he feels like, when you win a game at any sport, you kind of feel bad for the person that you go up against. But at the end of the day, I'm gonna say this in a toxic way / joke way. We call that a skill issue. That you take that L gracefully, my boy. Next time, get better, get good, so you can definitely put up a fight for next round. This guy definitely was leagues above Taiki. I feel so bad because he's good, but he's not great, and it definitely shows from the beginning of Blue Box up until now. He's not ready yet. At least he got the experience. He's a character that it says all the time that he doesn't let the past get to him. He learns from his mistakes. But this tournament, you literally really see him get hit hard by it. Like, he's depressed. So, he's in the locker room. He's, laying down, relaxing. And you see Hina in the background with snacks. She didn't have to go out of her way as a side piece, to get my boy some snacks. But she knew that, he lost. She feels upset. She feels bad because, in her own way, she's also good in gymnastics. She's good in sports. She knows what she's doing. So the fact that she's very upset that he lost, when she knows that he put in that hard work just as much as she did to try to win. Because we all know, when you really practice, when you train to be good in the sport, you really put your all. Like, you gotta put your. It's even said to in the anime, you have to put your 100% at what you do, or you're going to lose / fail. And my boy, as much as he wants to believe that he did, as the viewer personally, that was not 100%. He was not ready. Even I would say most viewers knew he was not ready for the smoke. I knew he was going to go in and lose. At best, honestly, I thought he was going to win the first game, maybe lose the second or third one. Cool. He pretty much lost the first match. That just says a lot of his skill set.
Damn, so that's disappointing for him.
Yeah, so he's trying to cheer him up with the snacks, saying I'm here for you, whatever, right? Meanwhile, you have Kinasu playing the girls' basketball team for the national championship, to get into nationals, just like with him. And thank God, she wins with the team. So their team is qualified to go to nationals. She goes home. She tells, Taiki's mom. Everyone's celebrating. Everyone's happy for her. I'm happy for her. I'm glad that she was able to practice. She practiced hard to get into nationals. Now she has a chance to play the academy that was talking shit about her in the previous episode, and try to get a chance to show them how much she's grown as a basketball player. Taiki gets home. Everyone minus her kind of knows that, he lost. So hearing that she won, he's happy for her. And then you see him run away from home crying. He feels, at the end of the day, envious. And who wouldn't? He's like,
hell
fuck.
Yeah. In anybody's shoe, I will feel pain, because I still, 10 years later after high school, I still resonate of me being, I should have been a better captain. I should have been a better co-captain. I should have been a better player in many sports, in my soccer, handball, small handball days, in my cross country. I could have done a lot more training and been a better athlete, but that was just poor decisions back in the day. But I know, and I tell myself, it's like, I could have done a lot better if I actually did more training. So as him running away and envious, you mad, because in any opponent you have in a sports or in a competition, you guys are both hunting for the win. So whoever loses is taking the L gracefully, but no matter what, you're going to feel hurt, because in your mind, when you feel like you could have won, you're either telling yourself, damn, I almost had it, or you're hoping that you could have had it knowing that you just lost in a landslide, and that fucking sucks.
I feel like, at him running to the sunset, him crying about that. I know he's not envious. I know he's not jealous at the fact that she won. It's more the fact that he just wants to show off to the girl that he has a crush on, that like, I'm working just as hard to be at your level. And it's like, in a sports perspective, badminton and basketball are competitive sports, but they're two different ball games. It's like, you're good at what you do, but you're not great. You're not excellent. This girl who has, a mother who has played professionally, who, has, the experience and everything, is not trying to live up in her mother's name per se, but to try to be the very best she could be at that same sport, shows. And she's trying to get into the national level too in her own way. And I hope when Shinisu finds out what had happened with Taiki when he left home, I hope she doesn't blame herself for that fact that she had won. I think she should take that victory like in a good way and just support him to be more better. I'm very curious to see the romantic aspect with that, how that's gonna go. If he's gonna use his loss in a negative way to bring down Shinisu in a way. Maybe he might hurt Hina with his word. I don't know. A lot of things could go now that we see that he lost. He has other opportunities to play badminton, but is that enough time for him to win for Chinasu to see that? Because honestly, school's gonna end soon. She's gonna graduate. She's not gonna really be there to see him win these tournaments. So the big question now is, what's gonna happen? Is he still gonna pursue badminton? Is he gonna just try to support Shinisu with just basketball? Who knows? It's too early to say anything because we're only at episode 8 and there's so many more episodes to go more for. So I'm really curious to see where they lead it with the next episode. Your guess is just as good as mine, but I'm curious. I'm hoping for the best. I so far the show has been great, so I know they're gonna pull out all the stops to like kind of surprise us viewers. And I hope it's in a romantic way, a really nice, special way, even wholesome, even loving. I just can't wait to see it. That was Blue Box, and finally my top one. There is nothing more to say. I will speak more about it in my favorite episode, but top one is gonna be Dun Da Dun. All I'm gonna say is just the continuation of what happened after the previous episode, episode 7. All I will say at this moment, just this is, just when you think things can't get any better, it gets fucking better. And this is the first anime that I can personally say in a very long time that like it's just getting better and better and better and better. Like there's the train ain't fucking stopping for nothing. That's really all I can say on the matter. The Don stole it away for it once again, and I hope it continues stealing the show for the rest of the season. Because honestly, it is a hype train that is not stopping on any of the stations, and I hope it maintains its current rank for me personally as the top one of all time.
Look, 12 episodes. We're almost done. 4 episodes left in this arc, so that means we're gonna have a 4 arc in this. Can't wait. But without further ado, we already spoke on our top 10 anime rankings. So now let's jump into our mini reviews. And what does that consist of? Because I figured out what the name will be. It's called Rapid Fire. I'm going to call it Rapid Fire. I like it. Okay, you know why? We do a Rapid Fire of mini reviews. That's what it is. I'm going to call it Rapid Fire. How do you like that name?
I'm fine with it. I definitely... It's a nice, like 1, 2, let's just bring it out there. Let's just say how it is.
So for this one, Rapid Fire is going to be about Humor Servant, Arifureta, and Tag with the now with Amagami sister. Those are the ones that me and him are watching. There are, look, as much as those animes were good, those are not going to be episode of the week for me or for me and Crash, because those 3 are not. That's how it is. Simple. So this is going to be the real Rapid Fire. Which one do you want to do first?
Let me start with Arifureta. I put that. That was my number 6. That was your what number on your ranking?
That was my number 10.
Okay, so I'm at 6. He's at 10. There's not much to say about what happened in the previous episode. So they go into the labyrinth, and pretty much it's a test, seeing, if you're able to overcome your past. Are you able to let go of what once was and realize that the person you are now? That's the whole point of Labyrinth, right? But in the test, in Hajima's dream, excuse me, you see him back in his real world, not in the isekai world that he got transported to. He's back as his regular body with the same characters from the world that he came from. So you have Yui, dressed up as a regular girl. You have Shay, excuse me. You have, I keep forgetting the girl's name, but the dragon girl with the big titties. You have everyone pretty much, even have the little girl, the little daughter, that they had in season 2. You see these characters come back pretending to be in his world and everything like that. Like, he's back in school. He feels like something's up, but he don't know what it is. It was nice to see Yui act a little sus, with that, little you know, sentence that she said, that little statement, like, if you don't wake up, I'm going to assault you sexually. I was like, word, that's how it is.
Girl
I wouldn't mind that went down.
Girl said, I see you got morning wood. You want me to clean up for you? Want me to, do my job? I'm like, yes, I would love that. And girl, you don't even have to ask. You just have to go on down there, wake me up in the morning, and hey, I'll give you the green lit.
Look, I know you remember this right before she said that, when she came up to his room and she was like, hi, you better wake up, Hajime, you're going to be late for school. And then she licked her lips with her tongue. I'm like, you animators didn't have to do that. I know you was implying something there.
Yeah,
but
hey, she's a vampire. Girl has to suck it something. So,
however, I would say that alone was not enough to put it at a higher rate than what it was. I don't even think the next episode is going to be enough to bring the show any higher than it's where it is right now, which is currently low bottom, which is okay. It's still good. It's still interesting to see what's going on. It's just, at this point, you're getting to one of the other labyrinths, and then where do you go from there? Like, the main attraction was Shia's family attacking the Empire. The question now is, like, where do you go from
next?
here? Yeah, that's exactly where we're at right now.
Weirdly, that you're a 16 episode arc. Like, why did the random 16, not 12? So, like, they have something. It's just depending where or what the something is gonna land into. So that's the big question, honestly.
I mean, past that, did you have anything else to mention about the episode, really?
The comedy between the school aspect, I didn't really thought we were gonna have a school setting, but the way the episode ended is where the labyrinth was proud to know that Hajime has the high belief, and how cocky Hajime was. Like, how did you know? That's not my girl. That's simple. Yeah, that's not my girl.
That man playing 40 chess in her mind, like, that's not my bitch. I know how she is. That's not her. Run me my girl. Who the fuck is you imposter?
Yeah, so it was just really impressive how he just stand on all 10 toes. So, like, that's not my girl. That's not my girl. No matter what, that's not my girl. You ain't gonna do about that. You ain't gonna change my mind. And then him coming out of the pods, and then us finding out there's more different pods. Like, cool, he's gonna have to wake them up or enter the mind. So it was pretty interesting because we get this type of storytelling in other type of mediums where it, like, in live action it's called a closet episode. A closet episode is like where everything is happening within a setting, but it's not happening within the actual world. It's happening outside of it. So this episode is like a closet episode, and we're gonna continue on that on the next episode. So it really depends where it goes. The dragon lady being like a MILF teacher, that was funny.
I thought she looked cool. I didn't even think she looked cute. I thought she looked cool.
Yeah, it looked cool. It was just funny. It was just kind of like, oh, you're the MILF teacher that every student loves. Sure, I guess you're playing with the stereotypes, so that plays true to the value.
Yeah, but I mean, past that, it's not something we asked for, but we appreciate the fan service regardless. It is what it is.
Other than the next one, I'm gonna go next. I'm gonna choose this one. You are my servant. How the fuck are you an assassin and afraid of zombies?
I said the exact same. I even wrote on the notes myself. I said, shake my head. My brotherhood personally would be very disappointed. The only reason why I'm letting it slide is because this girl has skills. She knows how to use blades. Just for that alone, I'm gonna let that slide for the one time. But like, come on, lady, you kill for a living. You're gonna stab a zombie. You're gonna see blood and gore fall down. You tell me now a fucking zombie is gonna scare you? Really, my G?
Well, look, I love what she said. It's because what happened if you cut them and they're still alive? So her mom was killing people one time, one shot, one kill. Not one cut, still alive, run away. One cut, maybe alive. You gotta knock out the head. So for her, the concept of like, oh my god, I never done this. And the most funniest shit is that she said, "Oh, the movies. I've never gone. I've gone to the movies, but never actually sat down in theater." I'm like, and he asked why. It's because every time I come to a theater, I come and kill my opponent. I'm like, oh. And this shows a little small clip of how she just walks by, puts a knife on the neck, and just goes by.
Shout out to Assassin's Creed 3. I had to bring it up all the time, but shout out to Assassin's Creed 3 in the beginning of the game where Haytham Kenway actually goes to assassinates his old mentor, one of the main Brotherhood members of the UK at the time, killing him, in, a whole play, kind of like in the movies. So it was kind of funny to see that. I just saw that and I'm like, oh my fucking god, they're just like mimicking that in that sense. Not the same way, but very similar. It was a nice nod, even though it's not really referring to the game. It was nice to see. I will say though, real quick, the nice thing about this was they were showing a bit of fan service with Yui, especially with the clothes part where like the little girl was like shitting on her saying, "Where did you get those maid clothes? Because you usually don't wear that." And she's kind of like, "What the fuck? Why are you making me wear this shit then?" And then, we see the disposition that her mentor gifted her those ropes, and that's why she wears the maid clothing. So, of
Yes,
course, she
so
wants to act a little more.
it has a sentimental value to it, and that trans everything. Like I'm a sentimental value person. I'm not materialistic. There's some people that are materialistic. There's nothing wrong with that as long as you have control of it. Myself, I always tell my wife, like, if you give me a comic book that costs $20 already mint on comics or less, I will appreciate that gift more than any other because those are things I could read, enjoy, and they gave me a figure of Spider-Man, a $20, $80 Spider-Man gift is better to me than a new sweater that's just gonna be added to a pile that all I'm doing is gonna probably use it 5 times in a year or sample. So to me, small gifts that has a sentimental value just adds more to the gift aspect.
No, 100%. I mean, that's a gift from your teacher, your mentor. I have been in similar shoes. I definitely get where she's coming from with that. But past that, seeing now that she has to wear normal clothing and she doesn't know how to get normal clothing, of course the gang is gonna, go along and try to get her clothing. It was funny to see Grace's reactions towards, the outfit that she was wearing. And shout out to the bikini outfit. Again, it's not something we asked for personally. It's not something I asked for, but nonetheless, great eye candy. I have to say, 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10, 100%. The sweater outfit that she ends up getting was also a nice, piece of clothing, but looked nice and everything like that. But past that, same thing. Like, it was nice to see, but it didn't really allude more to the plot of, her. And we don't even see the continuation of the MCs, past with like the mom, with the dad, what's going on with the parents.
We did find that in episode 8. Yes, Chad, we are briefly talking about episode 7 because Crash, he didn't get into episode 8 fully, so that's why I'm not trying to jump too much into it. But all I'm gonna say about that is episode 8, we did hear that the MC has a hatred against his father. He didn't really touch into that why, so we just find out that he has a hatred against his father because of his past actions. So I'm hoping we find out that in the later episodes of what was that reasoning and why could you have so much hatred against your own dad. Like any normal family has its issues, has its problems. But we already been wondering since episode 2 or 3 when we met the sister that the sister lives with the mom, but the father is overseas or international. So like this family has a house with the mom, but then the boy has a house that is too big for him just to live on his own, but then has very caring friends that lives nearby him and cares for him too. So it's very interesting family dynamics that what was so bad or fuck up this family dynamic for you to live in this type of way?
I mean, I'm a little on episode 8, like you said. Like, so I know kind of what's going on, but I don't know that much. So I hope to find more about his lore. But going back to it, because at that point in time when episode 7 released, we didn't get more of that disposition, more of that lore, the plot moving forward with that. We're just getting more of like fan service, more of a filler, you could say, episode. It's not really filler per se, but just the fact that it's it's not pertaining more to the point that we're asking as viewers. That's why I didn't rate it so high. Uh, um, it's 4, but it's only because of the fan service aspect, not because of the plot.
Yeah, for me the same. For me, I have it as number 9, right above Arifureta. I enjoyed what we got into the same aspect of the characters we have seen. So to me, it's still a home hitter with You and My Servant. The last thing though for our rapid fire is time to not with
And not
Amagami's sister, trying to figure out life. That's the hardest decision.
I mean, what can we really say about it's a two-parter. You got the first part, the first 12 minutes, and the second part, and the other 12 minutes. The first part I genuinely care more for than the second part. Yuru finds Ye, after helping out the other sister. Um, it was nice to see that she's dealing with her own uh um battles. You're seeing a little bit more about her past, which I actually like. It's like everyone's deciding what's best for her future. And as someone who's an artist like her, I definitely see that. That's definitely a personality that I can get behind 100%. Someone who just wants to be free to express herself in any way possible, but can't because of her family, her past. That definitely alludes to her personality, and the fact that Yule sees that and kind of like tells her like whatever happens, I'll definitely be there for you. I'll help you make your decisions. Don't worry about it. That was very touching, warming. He didn't have to do that. He has to focus on his own future. But the fact that he's just a caring guy like that really shows a lot about his personality. Again, we get more of the fan service. She's going, into the springs with him. I don't remember seeing any edgy stuff about her specifically. I was very distracted for a couple of moments, so you can speak for me, Vash. If anything, I don't remember seeing anything etchy on her end. I know the show always shows some etchy stuff. I didn't see anything on for specifically with her that episode. So if there was anything
When it
that I
comes to the
missed,
older sister, yes. When it comes to the middle sister, I believe we did see one, but not too much. I can remember the exact scene.
no, the younger sister for sure. I'll speak on that. But the older sister, I don't remember seeing anything. So if they didn't do anything, all we saw was just like it looks like as if she's catching feelings, but we generally don't know if that's the case. And now she does a great job of hiding her feelings to the viewers, and that's very good and bad because it's like she expresses her feelings. We saw that kiss, in the episode 6 after the festival. We know that she feels something, but we don't know exactly what it is. So I'm really curious to know what it is. She's aggressive, but she's also very passive and hides her emotions in a certain way, and she's very good with it. So, um, I like to see where her relationship goes with Yuru, and then to go into the second part, pretty much we see the younger um the younger sister, Asashi. I'm butchering her name. I'm sorry. She pretty much we see a lewd scene. Her. With the with her robe and it's starting to fly down a little bit.
But with her kimono, I will say that girl knows how to blackmail. Girl knows how to blackmail people, and
For sure.
I love how MC right after the younger sister step out ran away because she girl didn't want to deal with the emotions of telling her sisters like, hey, this is
Pussy.
what this is what's gonna be going in life. I'm gonna probably be leaving to a different school or to a different city, etc. She couldn't want to live it. I love how the MC like, hey, I gotta tell you something, but before I tell you this, I'm about to get blackmailed, so let me tell you what truly happened before you get told by your sister what I got blackmailed for. So before I look like I'm the bad guy, let me tell you why I'm the bad guy, which I wasn't the bad guy. So I love how he kind of read himself out before he deal with the method. Like, look, Let me not wait until it gets worse. Let me just tell you what happened. So that was hilarious. Two, I want to say this. When the fuck did our FC start having a sixth sense? Since when does he have a prognitive type of future? He could have dreams that could tell him what's exactly going to be happening. I didn't expect this to be happening. It like is a shrine, a sleeping place where it tells you dreams of what the future.
I will answer that question for you if you remember the first episode where, the middle sister, I keep forgetting their names and I'm very sorry. I'm trying to remember as best I can. But the middle sister did lose her her string, her string that she got from her mother, which the MC, like, they ended up finding, but it was through the mom's spirit. And because of that, now the spirit is kind of like
guiding
following no, specifically following the MC, following you
Yuna, yes. Yuna's her is the middle one, and the older one is Yai.
Euro is the guy, the MC.
Euro is the guy, but the girl is Yuna.
Yeah. So Yuna, you're right, thank you. So Yuru, the mom is following Yuru because I think, I'm just speculating, I think she believes he is a perfect candidate to help them in their futures with their struggle, with their everyday lives as shrine maidens. That's why she gives him this power of like dreaming of past, like a future events that will happen, like to give him a reference. Whether it's a sense of like, you need to know this because you need to prevent it or it needs to happen remains to be seen. I think that reasoning will be explained towards the end. I don't mind that either. I think that's a nice little deposition, little like plot armor for this MC. But will it help him find the girl that he wants to be with at the end? That I don't know, because to this moment still, I still don't know who I want to choose between all these three. I want to be. You think so? One personally, the yeah, I prefer the older too. I don't like her. I didn't like her personality in the beginning. She's very clumsy. Yeah, klutz. I don't like those kinds of personalities, me myself. However, the way that her character is developing throughout the show is making her act become something a little different. I hope that shows more in the future, especially with her past. I'm pretty sure that's going to be a big event coming in. That's why, you have 24 episodes in this anime. I'm pretty sure we're going to see a moment where, she's very vulnerable with her past and, Uru is going to be there to, like, help out, whatever. I'd like to see that. But honestly, we could even see, honestly, all three of them just straight up marry them. It could be a polygamy kind of.
We have this in anime,
marriage.
poly and everything. Animes in Japan is very normal for them to have one guy and then three girls to fall in love with him. It's very normal for that in Japan in their poly relationships and everything. So, but it's just for me, it's always hard to get used to that as a American viewer with a Spanish background who appreciates the culture's international, just to see the main character dating three sisters. If it was three different girls from three different backgrounds, I'm okay. But from three sisters, that sometimes for me is hard to cope with, because it's like, hey, can y'all just find two different guys for yourselves, and can he find two of the girls to join his little harem? Like, I'd rather prefer that.
100%. I mean, it's the good thing I can say right now, at least ending this, part, is that it's still too early to say anything. We still have a good 16 more episodes to go. I'm curious to know where the show's gonna go. I don't have any expectations right now going forward. I will say that much. However, I like the fan service that the show is portraying to us right now, and I hope it continues to show more of that in the upcoming episodes.
I agree. I agree. I keep forgetting at times that this show is 24 episodes. I don't know why. Have you seen this show? Let me see. Let me get the correct name. I believe it's called Cuckoo.
Oh, the Cuckoo Nest. I know what you're saying. I think it's a Cuckoo. I know what you're talking about. It's 24 episodes. It's with this one MC, the rich girl, the childhood friend, and
Yes.
then
I'm just trying to.
I know, and then the girl that he has a
What's
crush
the
on.
name of the anime? Because I'm trying to find it.
It was in the spring anime. God, I wish I could tell you because we're looking back like months, even years. I believe, excuse me, it came out. Oh,
A couple of cuckoos.
a couple of cuckoos. Yeah, a couple of
Yes,
cuckoos. I'm about to
that's
say
it.
it's actually coming out next year. I have it right here too. I'm so stupid. Yes, it's
Wait,
coming
season
out.
two?
Yeah, season 2 is coming out next year, 2025. Definitely recommend it.
Oh yeah,
The
I watch it in 2022 because it came out in 2022. I watched it in April and I finished it when it was done airing. I think a month later, and I gave it a 7 out of 10.
Really,
There's a few things I didn't like, but story wise, it was there. I think I can't remember top of my head what is it that I didn't like. Top of my head, I cannot tell you. My apologies, but it was 7 out of 10. I forgot that it has a second season, so that's actually very exciting.
at the time of this recording, I had posted that I watched, finished it, and I gave it a 9 out of 10. I think I didn't give it a higher ending. I believe the ending was trash,
Yeah,
or there
probably
was
something
something about
like
the
that. Yeah, I just don't remember
yeah.
like something about it, like something about the episode or something involving that. I forgot what it was exactly.
It is. I think it's a good harem anime, as a good romance anime. I definitely do recommend it to anybody who wants to watch it. The edginess and the fan service and the comedy is like it's very very good. I think it does do it justice, despite the fact that it's showing a very low score, 6 point something. I want to say 6.90 out of 10. Uh, it's a little upsetting to see because it was more higher during its release in 2022. I still personally would give it a recommendation to watch if you are looking for something in the rom-com series.
Same, same. And you know what? If you are looking into something in the rom com series, instead want some action, some yokai, some aliens that wants your banana or wants to use you as an experiment and wants to jump you at school, guess what you should watch? Danadon. That's what you should be watching. Episode 8. This is our episode of the week coverage. And for this week coverage is what? It is Crash and myself. Since look, I already gave the Villainess as a like a solo review earlier. So I'm gonna give this for this week. Donadon, I'm gonna speak with Crash about as our episode of the week because I didn't get to speak about episode 7 last week. So this will be our last segment of the show. It will be Danadon as our episode of the week. Crash, I'm gonna give it to you first. How did you feel about aliens coming back?
So wow, there's so much to take in, and I don't want to steal the spotlight from Vash, right? I'm gonna just give my take real quick. After what had happened in episode 7, after the passing of acrobatic silky, excuse me, giving her aura, her essence to God, what is her name, with
To
Ira.
Ira.
Yeah, yeah, to Ira. Now you see what happens right after. They go back home. They're eating with Ken. With Turbo Granny. Like they're regaining their strength and everything. Like things still are not cool. Ira still thinks that Momo is some demon, whatever. But she remembers that Ken was pretty much saving her life throughout this whole battle with Acrobatic Silky. So she's catching feelings in a sense.
But
Um,
somehow, during this whole time, she has the misconcept as Momo's the queen of demons, and Okarun is like a slave that's handcuffed, being controlled by Momo, and he's a demon.
Yeah, I don't know what it's all about. And I will say real quick, I seen this as a meme, and I'm just gonna bring it up to Vash's attention and to chat's attention if you guys, don't perceive a lot of things like I do, right? in the previous episode, not even I believe it was previous episode, right? Ira pretty much was convincing Momo to take her to, this abandoned warehouse. And I was speaking about this in previous episode, where, out of nowhere you're gonna follow this stranger to like this abandoned spot with no help, and then you get, ambushed by her classmates. Remember that Momo slapped the shit out of these classmates with her, psychic powers.
We haven't seen them. We don't even know if they're alive. I don't
Exactly.
think they're alive.
You're looking through the school, the whole school thing. Her friends are nowhere to be found. I'm telling you outright, them girls, dunzos, they are gone. Bye bye. This girl Momo killed them, and they're not even talking about it. If they come up in later episodes, cool, bet,
Yeah, cool,
whatever.
Cool.
I have not seen shit from them, so I know them girls, dunzos. I can't believe they murdered girls right in front of us, and no one said a fucking thing. But anyway, that was just a perception thing that I peeped. I hope you guys peeped that too. Hopefully to see them in future episodes. But so, Ira's catching feelings for Ken. We're kind of like, ooh, what are they gonna do? Fast forward to now, you guys are in school. Things are back to normal.
Hold on. We can't even fast forward to that. Let's first talk about the batting. The home strike. The home strike. Sorry, not home strike. The ball strike.
The ball strike. How can I forget about? I was about to say that. I'm sorry. How can I forget the most important thing? Let me run it back.
He got a nut back. He got a nut back.
My boy, I was screaming for him. He finally got one of his testicles back. Let's go. My boy winning out here. He definitely got 1 for 2.
That was so exaggerating this. Bro, they could have probably slap it back, put it back. Nah, Granny Turbo like, we're going to go on a home run, guys. We're going to hold it. We're going to go. And fucking Granny fucking like, all right. We have the bases fully loaded, guys. We're going to hit a strike. We're not going to go. And the whole time Momo fucking has like a whole plate just blocking her eyes. But I'm like, wait. How's she knowing? Oh, she's blocking her actual eyes, but she could probably see the ball and the spiritual pressure, how it's actually going. So if people think about it, she's blocking her eyes, but she can still see everything spiritually. So she's seeing what's going on still.
She's sensing everything pretty much.
Yeah, like that was a hilarious scene, and the way that Granny Turbo literally threw it, she literally got a strike in, and the way Momo said, ball strike, winning. I'm like, oh, that is funny.
I was so happy. I was like screaming for my boy Ken. I was like, yes, let's go. He finally got it in. Like he finally he got 1 for 1. I can only imagine not having your balls. Now you got one of them, bro. Hey, good for you. You got 1 down, 1 more to go.
That was insane. I love that type of comedy in that scene. Right before we transitioned to school, just the way Ira was Googling OKARUN, and the way the reaction and the faces that Momo gave, she's like, hold up, bitch, hold on, what the fuck is going on? This is not normal. And after she left, even OKARUN was confused, and just to show the jealousy tension starts.
Yeah, what is this? Who's her? Like, what is you? Like,
and look, for anybody that have never been through high school romance and understand, high school romance never communicates. Once you always catch something at that worst timing, you never want to hear explanation. And I'm like, explanation is actually the number one thing you should hear. Yes, don't lie, but give the excuse of how things happen. So, Crash, what did happen?
Oh, okay. So we gotta fast forward to the school aspect now. Ken is a little upset at himself because he promised to be strong for Momo. He wants to better himself. So when they get into another fight with a spirit or with the alien in the future, he wants to be ready to defend Momo, because he wants to be a gentleman, but also sees her as cute. Meanwhile, Momo, we're starting to see more of these romantic feelings develop for Ken, and we're kind of like, do you like him? Do you feel for him in that kind of way? Where the viewers are asking this. She can't get him off her mind, and she wants to spend more time with him and try to get to know him, but he's pushing her away, saying, oh, I gotta do this, I gotta do that, give excuses, whatever. And he's not doing it in a mean way. He just doesn't want to show how much training, how much practice he's going towards, making, to getting stronger for her. He wants to keep that in the DL. He doesn't want to bother her with that. So of course she feels the type of way. We see her, buy juice for her, girlfriends, and as she's passing along the school, thinking about, damn, like, why is he?
Where the fuck did she travel to? Girl went around the whole school just to get orange juices for her friend, and then took the longest of a detour.
I'm not surprised because she's when you're deep in thought, you travel totally a lot, you do walk around.
Your mind gets right. Like me, when I'm on a phone call with Crash himself or with other people, I walk around the house. I don't stay on one spot. I move around the house. If I'm outside, I walk around the street, walk around the blocks. I'm on the phone. So I get it that girl's lost in thought. Girl went around the whole campus most likely.
Yeah, so she's in her feelings. She's thinking, and she's being hopeful, thinking, you know what? He's probably doing the right thing. He's not anything sus, whatever, right? And then the next scene just goes, you see my boy Ken, this Sigma, this Chad of a boy right now, right? He got his one ball back, and now he know how to act. Right now, he's on top of this girl Ira. Right when I give her a smooch on the lips, this girl drops the drinks on the floor, shocked. The reaction, I wish, I could put it in the thumbnail. That was one of my first thought process, that I need everyone to know what Momo, how she reacted. But my best, actual way to describe her reaction was when you found out the worst feeling when the person you love actually did you so dirty was priceless. She was like, oh, like the Patrick meme, pretty much in the SpongeBob movie. He's kind of like, that was pretty much, that was Momo. What had really happened was Ken was, training his body outside of the school backyard for whatever reason. I don't know why he wasn't doing it in a fucking classroom, even the fucking gym. He was doing it in the backyard.
No, so my guess, one, look, have you ever lied to somebody and it's a white lie, but it's not really something that is a big lie where you gotta explain yourself? I've done that. I get it. Would you also want to lie and say I'm working out in secret? I've done that. Where you want to surprise the person that you care about, want to protect them, where you want to be all macho, you gain your strength. Even Granny told him, and the reason he's training is because Granny told him, like, hey, if you want to get better in your 2-time skill, be a fighter. Even when he fought acrobatic lady last week, he even said, I don't know how to fight. I never fought. Usually when I fight, and I love how he gave examples. When we have fought A, B, and C, it's because I've been angry and that's been the moment. But to consciously fight and give our hands, bro, I've never been in that. So I understand why he's been training. He's been doing good, practicing group fours here and there. So that's very important. Love that for him. Is well deserved. But I love the respect and standard on all 10 toes. He said, look, why are you, a popular girl, liking me of all people? What the fuck is going on? This is not right.
So it's not even that for me, right? So I don't know if it was because of what's going to be spoiled on at the very end, but what I will say is, Ken is already training, in the back. And then she comes out of nowhere and it's like, oh, hey, like, here you are. How the fuck did you know he was even there training to begin with? You know what? Fair. I will give it that. I wish I would have seen the stalking. It would have made a lot more sense for me. It would have been a lot more, it gave more of like the romantic feel for it. Just her showing up out of the blue was a little off for me, but the way you're saying it now, I can get with that. Cool. So now we see that, like you said, she does like him. And she wants to pretty much kiss him, like,
I felt like it's like a Beauty and the Beast, which girl was like, Ira was like the princess and OKARUN was the beast. It's like, oh, you're a demon. It shouldn't be like this. We shouldn't be together. I shouldn't have these feelings. And I love how she said it, like, I'm confessing my feelings to you. The thing you're supposed to kiss me. I'm like, no. Just because you confess your feelings don't mean I should reciprocate. Like, girl, I have a girlfriend or kind of girlfriend or a person that we both like each other but have not said each other explicitly. So you're telling me you like me, but that don't mean I should reciprocate and kiss you. That's not how it works.
I will say a spoiler. I hope you're okay with taking off your headphones because I don't want to spoil it because it regards ReZero. And even I know this spoiler knowing it, unless you don't mind me spoiling for you.
Don't say ReZero spoiler in a Danadan spoiler section. No.
All I'm saying.
Denied.
Look, there's other animes that refer to this kind of trope where it's like, yeah, no, like you're way off with this kind of like, yeah, I confess to you, now we gotta kiss or make love or something. No, you're way off with that. That's not. Where do you get this from? And then the big question, like, yeah, where do you get this from? You see now, like, she reading them dirty porno mags, and then she's watching Dad's Secret Stash. Like, first off, how the fuck you knew Dad's had a secret stash? Why are you watching Dad's Secret Stash? Do you have something called the fucking internet, Mike G? Like, really? But to each their own. Like, that shit was so funny. Like, you're watching Dad's shit, and you're seeing all the dirty pervy stuff. Like, now I'm starting to think, who's really ecchi here? Really, is it really Ken? Is it really Momo? No, it's this girl. I fucks with this a lot. So now he's pushing her away. He wants nothing to do with her. Iris pushing towards Ken, like, kiss me, love me, I want to be with you. They tumble on the floor, and it turns out Ken gets on top of her in this very provocative sexual position. It looks like, he's taking advantage of her. Ira closes her eyes, leans in for a kiss. Ken is taken aback, watching this moment go down. Time stops. Everything is still. Everything is quiet. Next thing you know, Ken looks to his right and sees Momo watching this whole thing go down. He sees her drop the drinks on the floor, spilling and running away. Her heart's broken. And he's distraught. He can't believe he caught her in the act.
And the whole time that goes like this.
Yeah, exactly. Like, where's my kiss me, bitch?
Hurry, kiss me. I'm like, bro, my girl is literally staring at this at the worst time, and now I have to chase her. Bye. And I love how he had to, like, look, as any guy also, as much as us guys have pride to go after a girl, I love also how he was hesitating to leave Ira in the middle of this, because also it's awkward for her, because also what you're doing is like you're leaving her in the middle of asking her for a kiss. In her perspective is rude and mean, but in his eyes, like, I gotta chase after my girl, my right girl, and now she's mad at me and telling me that she doesn't want no explanation. So I'm like, the fuck did I do? I didn't do nothing. I'm the innocent one here. I was training for you.
It's a shame that she didn't realize that, going right to the next scene, Ken's running back to her like, wait, don't go. It's not what you think. And so she's like, oh, you were lying to me? I can't believe he actually admits to the white lines. Like, yeah,
he like, well,
I did lie to you.
He like, well, lied about me having a report. I was, and like, no, don't say that. Say, hey, I lied. Like, say I was working out and I was working in secret. That's why I said that. First, see the reason. Don't say that you lied. That's what messed you up, and that's why she's like, nah. But I love the how right after this little impulse type of argument, I love how she, throughout the next couple of classes, she was resonating and also thinking of her action and trying to analyze the situation. A lot of people have a hard time to cope and come back from an excited moment, coming back into terms of what just happened.
Reality. Yeah.
Coming to reality. So I love how she was thinking, like, I'm thinking about him the whole time. Is he the crazy one? Probably did I come at the wrong time? Things escalated. Was that the wrong? So I love how I appreciate that as a viewer and a person that is in relationships and also talks to other couples about relationships. So I really appreciate that, just the analyzation of what a person, or male, female, a person in the relationship could just analyze of their own faults or if they missed something wrong. So that's one thing I appreciate that. You have any other thoughts about their relationship before we move on to the big what the fuck moment?
It was a hot scene. I actually took photos of it myself, like, the actual scene it happening, because it was just so hilarious.
Yeah.
I hope it gets even better than what I saw, because again, going to Dan, I had no expectations. I did not expect to get this anime to go this hard. So I've already seen this, and this shit was hilarious. This shit was funny, and this shit was spicy, to say the least. It's an understatement. how can Don to Don get better than this? This is going to be my question going forward for the rest of the show. How can you beat this scene? That's what I'm looking forward to for the rest of the show, honestly.
Look, so the big what the fuck moment, aliens are back. Aliens are back, and Ira has the power of the acrobatic lady.
So let me just say outright quick, right? Not even going to the spirit that we saw with the laser beam. Let me just start real quick with acrobatic Silky, right? The moment I saw her transform into acrobatic Silky, I got out of my fucking couch and I started screaming so hard. I said, yes, she did not die. She did not die for that bullshit. She came back with a vengeance. She's come back with the smoke. She's about to throw hands on these motherfuckers. I can't wait to see how the fuck she used her acrobatic abilities to whip their asses. Y'all not ready for it? I'm so glad that she pulled a 180, like she pulled the Uno reverse card, like, oh, you thought I died? You made me, bitch. First off, bitch, you made me fucking cry on my couch. You guys don't understand. I cried for a fucking anime character that I could not honestly care less for, a side character which had a tragic backstory. To now you're telling me the next episode, nah, nigga, you fucking cried for no reason. I'm back in a new form to whip ass. Oh, best believe, I'm not even mad about that, low key. I might be, but I'm more happy than anything that it's good to see you back and you're back to show off your new skills. Oh, I can't wait for the fight sequence. I really want to know how she's gonna throw these hands with these new aliens.
And I love how it shows that each character that gets possessed by a cursed spirit, their personality changes, or their personality gets heightened. Like, for example, we have Okarun in his little depression mode and saying, "Babe, can you run away? Like, you're in the way." And she's like, "Babe, how you calling me babe? We ain't even dating yet, bitch. What the fuck?" Like, but then girl gets slapped.
First name, calling her by first name.
Yeah, and calling her by the first name just runs that, gets slapped. The alien species are returning, and they have their dicks out of the metal fucking tentacle already. I want the banana. I'm like, no. We have some type of alien creature that has like a ringing sound. So that was interesting. And the one that Crash mentioned, I call him Godzilla, but then I had to correct myself. I appreciate for Crash correction. It is the Loch Ness Monster is what it reminded me a lot of.
So the spirit is the Loch Ness Monster. And when I first saw it, and I was already on the nose with it, but I had to do research on it. When I first saw it, the laser beam that had happened reminded me of Shin Godzilla, the older one.
Yeah, the older one. Like the Japanese version.
Exactly. And I thought to myself, that can't be possible if that's the Loch Ness Monster. I thought to myself, am I wrong? Is it Godzilla as a spirit and not the Loch Ness Monster? So that's why I'm portraying to that. After the show was over, I actually did research, and lo and behold, no, I was right. It is the Loch Ness Monster. Just having a bit of like some powers, like a kind of like a throwback, kind of like I'm also OP too with this,
so from
kind
my
of
understanding,
skill set.
When it comes to spirits and yokais in Japan, they used to call Godzilla the original Loch Ness Monster in Japan's culture. For us in Americans, our version of the Loch Ness Monster and Godzilla are two different. In Japan, they're both the same. Because remember back in the day, in the black and white, I think in the 1970s, 1960s, they used to have a picture of the Loch Ness Monster in Japan, but it was a sea type of giant that looked like Godzilla. So that's what they would call it, the Loch Ness Monster, but a version of Godzilla, because it was always in the water, always in the swamp, and never came on land until it caused destruction in a lot of the Japan culture lore. So that's my understanding of how what we saw in the show was a fusion of both the Loch Ness Monster and Godzilla, that what we've grown to love over the years, and that's what it was. Because the creature, it didn't really have legs. It was more like a bodily swamp, and that's what it was. And by the way, the fucking sonar type of echo shit was amazing to see. That was like the way he just kept sending it back, and the way he just like summoned the fucking the nuclear bomb Godzilla ray. I'm like, okay, we're just gonna fuck shit up. Understood.
So I have two things with that real quick. You said that was cool. For me, that instance, I was a little creeped out, but in a good way. Like I had goosebumps. I was like, oh, this is why I watched Dun Dun Dun. Because you want to remember too, you have that scare aspect. You also want to be jump scared in that aspect. You want to, get a little spooked. So, if you're in that situation like Momo, you're like hiding from a creature, and you see that little wave pass by to the monster.
I was scared too.
My heart was beating a little bit. I was like, oh, please, please, please. And, the monster did the laser beam, right? I seeing that, and then but Momo, my thing was like that happened. Momo at the end was like, oh, I gotta find Okaru and I gotta find Ken. I was like, you're not more shocked, you're not more like surprised, you're not more like scared. At least like the half your fucking school is like fucking in tears and shit.
Well, it's because Okarun to Ira, the last time this happened is when aliens invaded their house last time, so they knew already. Momo probably also analyzes that wait, everyone's gone, so I mean Okarun's the only one that should be good. So she already analyzed the situation herself to understand that they got transported, or this is just like a parallel alternate reality that got transported. But good luck to Okarun. Good luck to Ira. Good luck to Momo, because they're gonna need all their help within each other, because they're about to fight 6 aliens. We have the Godzilla's Loch Ness monster as one. We have the fucking guy that vibrates the body and sound effects of the gong, and then we have the 3 type of aliens.
Yeah, I want to see the guy who is throwing the hands too. I want to see him. I don't know if he's the same guy that's like doing the gong, but the guy who is like kind of like talking to himself, kind of like like a boxer.
Yeah,
I'm curious to see how he's gonna like fight. Whether it's Ken, whether it's Ira. The next episode is going to be heat.
Oh yeah, the next episode's gonna be fire. I'm just curious to see how would it end. Like that, so interesting, the turnaround, where it could be with Dun of our characters, because right now we have Ira who just transformed. By the way, I'm really curious to see how her power and her monologue will be, because she called "Don't touch Master Okarun."
That shit had me screaming. All I'm gonna say is, even now, it's gonna be the top one. Even me not watching it, I know it's gonna be heat. The only way it's going to fail not being top one is you have an amazing fight sequence, and then it ends from there. And I don't think it's gonna be the case, because there's a reason why the aliens are back. There's a reason why the spirits are still being drawn to everybody. And you still have the one ball missing, the family crown jewel of Ken, somewhere in this world. There's no possible way it can fail. And I'm not saying that to jinx the show or anything like that. It's been so good, and you're at episode 8, episode 9. How? Again, I'm going back to the same question. How can it get better than this? And I know, like, I'm just waiting to see acrobatic Silky like just throw hands with these aliens. I just can't wait to see the fight. I just all look forward to it. That fight alone is just gonna make me give it top 1. That's really all I can say at this point.
Amen. I agree to that. I'm excited for Dun episode 9 that's airing this Thursday on Thanksgiving. But you guys are checking this podcast on this Tuesday, 2 days before Thanksgiving. Other than that, I have no more last thoughts about this. Great episode, great story. Can't wait to see the action. And fuck the aliens. Don't grab my banana. I will cut your metallic banana off. I will chip your shit and put it on the recycle.
I have nothing much to add. I want to see hands being thrown. I want to see acrobatic Silky literally do acrobatics. Do a somersault, flip in the air, something like with Arcane, with Echo flipping in the air too. I want to see some crazy shit happening. I need to see it now. Please, please, please. Let's hope for the best, guys. Let's hope for the best.
Hope for the best. So this comes out to our last part of our show, the conclusion. So we're wrapping our 5th episode of Off Da Binge. What did you think, Crash? How did you feel about our new rundown? Longer than it was planned, but of course we could change things up, probably minimize, improve. So far, I like it. I feel like this was a good rundown. longer than planned, but I feel like it was more transitional, and I feel like it was more less jumpy.
Definitely an interesting outlook to say for sure. I definitely liked it. There was nothing, bad to say about it. I definitely see ourselves doing something like this in the future. Let us know down in the comments below if you guys like this, kind of, outlook that we're doing. Potentially can be doing it for the next week and onwards. But overall, I like this podcast. I like this episode. I cannot personally wait for week 9. From here on out, for all the animes for the fall 2024 season, it's just going to get a lot more interesting story wise. From here on out, it's either at this point, the animes you're watching are either good or bad, and they show at this point, either you're still continue to watch it and you have very good opinions on it, you have indifferent opinions, meaning it's just okay or it's whatever, or you dropped your anime at this point. Episode 9 just makes or breaks that. It really shows, you already know. Say, for example, Down to Down is going to be top. You have shows like Arifureta or You Are My Servant, good animes, nothing much to say. Or you have shows like Tower of God where they're just dropping like, damn, like I really don't have a reason to get back into it. I'm really genuinely curious. I'm really excited to see what's going to come out for the next week, because right now these past episodes have been nothing but extraordinary, and I can't wait to see how they follow up going into week 9.
Amen to that. So you guys heard it. For me, it is simple. Can't wait to see the continuation of our characters. Oh no, wrong document. Be careful who you give your eye to. That's what I'm gonna say. Be careful you give your eye to, because sometimes it is a big thank you. But sometimes when you give it from your brother, from Itachi to Sasuke, sometimes
I was gonna say,
sometimes you can get a rob eye backed by Danzo. Fuck Danzo.
yeah,
Danzo, took all the Akatsuki's eyes, and nobody knew that was gonna happen. So at the end of the day, be careful you give your eye to. It could be robbed too. It could be taken by somebody else. But without further ado, guys, stay tuned for episode 6, where we continue to explore the best animes this season has to offer, plus maybe a few more surprises along the way. Thank you for listening for Off the Binge. Give us your winter season recommendation, because we're going to be jumping into that soon by week 10 or week 11 from Off the Binge, and what we're going to be liking for the next season to discuss. Other than that, we see you in the next one.